Approximately 50 years ago, I made a video called "These are the best characters to build in Honkai Star Rail," or something like that. I don't know, I didn't really check. And some of those characters are very strong in endgame, but I wanted to revisit that for newer players because some early game characters don't really hold up at the end of it all, and some characters that are kind of bad at the start end up being incredibly strong at the end. So today I wanted to look at what characters are on the roster and inject Qingque propaganda into your veins. Oh, and to be clear, none of the 4 stars in this video are like ranked or ordered or anything, they're just good 4 stars. My name is Braxophone, and if you're new to Honkai Star Rail, let me tell you what characters are good to invest in long term so that you can do this.
It's all yours!
No, that's a lot of damage!
You won't have her right at the start of the game, but you can nab Lynx for free after completing Stage 2 of Pure Fiction, which is possible around the mid-game. And if you don't have Lolcha or Huoho, Lynx can be a game changer. She's a quantum healer that focuses on heals over time, but what actually makes her a solid character isn't just her healing numbers. Lynx has the very special ability to gaslight enemies. Every character took a swing at them, but they're pretty sure that Blade did it. Lynx's skill heal gives more taunt value to destruction and preservation characters, meaning that she can allow you to focus most of the incoming damage on one character and give that character more energy. Of course, that also means they're taking more damage, but that's totally a fine trade-off because Lynx has healing over time, which is going to help restore their HP. She may not be able to reach the top shelf, but she has incredibly helpful utility. Speaking of short people, let me tell you about Black Clover M Rise of the Wizard King. Black Clover M Rise of the Wizard King is a mobile game about the super awesome anime Black Clover and the Rise of the Wizard King. It features turn-based gameplay similar to the game in this video. The Wizard King saved the world on the brink of being destroyed, but now the world is experiencing the next crisis, and it's your job to stop it using the power of Unreal Engine 4 and your wallet. Okay, you don't actually have to spend any money. The spring event is here, and you can celebrate with Black Clover Mobile with exciting limited time event activities, including a gift event with tons of surprises to receive. Season 4's theme is Costume Party, and it's just begun, with 3 new SSRs, 2 of which being Noelle and Charmy, with cute little costumes. And most importantly, Black Clover Mobile just dropped the new limited SSR, Black Asta, no not you, and he looks sick. On top of that, you can get a free 10 draws for free starting on February 12th. Traverse diverse dungeons, cook, fish, explore, rank up, and become the Wizard King in Black Clover M Rise of the Wizard King. Make sure to download with my link in the description or use the QR code on screen to get started. Wait, I wasn't done shilling Lynx yet. She also has AoE healing from her ultimate, and this AoE healing also can cleanse teammates as well. And to the teammate that her skill is active on, she gives an HP buff just to make them a little bit more survivable. This is all on Eidolon 0 Lynx, meaning that even if you only get her from Pure Fiction and never see her again, she's still going to be an incredible unit to invest in for early and late game Star Rail. Okay, so I want you to imagine a scenario where you're just chilling at your house, maybe on a couch or something, and the newest episode of Solo Leveling just released, and you want to boot it up to start watching. A couple advertisements start playing after you boot it up, but that's okay, that's not really a big deal. But then, out of nowhere, 4 Genshin players covered in complete plate armor bust down your door. Kakarot is just a copy of the Raiden Shogun, you can't do that! They yell as they sprint towards you, but you know better. You ask, are you Genshin players because you think the world revolves around you? Or do you think the world revolves around you because you are Genshin players? The Genshin players are stun locked. You may not have Viridescent Venerer, but what you do have is 40% defense shred on your ultimate. You activate zone suppression and turn their armor into that stuff that pool noodles are made out of. Now you play gacha games, so there's no way you're beating anyone in a fight, but you know the one thing that Genshin players can't stand. You hit them with the domain expansion. Limitless generosity! Due to their lowered resistances, they crumble to the ground, unable to fight any longer. This is the power that you hold, all because you invested in some Final Fantasy XIV sage playing nerd. Bela is one of the strongest characters in the entire game, even at Eidolon 0. Shredding all enemy defense is insanely strong, and she can be SB positive while doing it, giving your DPS characters more ammunition. And on top of that, she can remove a buff from an enemy with her skill if you decide to use it, making her incredibly versatile. Don't underestimate her. She's amazing early and late game. 100% invest in Pela. When you start the game, you'll get quite a few characters for free, and one of them is Asta, who ends up being a super underused option, mostly due to the existence of Ruan Mei. Another reason is that you can't always see her value that easily, but with that said, she's definitely making a huge difference on your team. And not in the astrology, Facebook, quiz, daily horoscope kind of way, that's just bullshit. Asta is what you get when you give someone with too much free time a seemingly infinite amount of money, but she bought all these buffs so that you don't have to, so I guess it's a win-win.
This doesn't count as wasting money.
She bought buffs your entire team's attack, which puts her in a different niche from single target buffers like Tingyun. There are some times where you're gonna want to run 2 damage dealers, and when that time comes, if they benefit from attack buffs, Asta will be one of the best picks for them. But that's not all Asta does. With Asta's ultimate, your whole team gains a massive speed buff. Ultimately, I'm not sure if she's actually magical or if everyone's just scared of the cute firebending girl, but all I can say is that buff makes them fast. In all, you can end up gaining 2 to 3 more attacks in endgame content, which can lead to more ultimates too, so even though it may not seem like a lot, it can make a significant difference in your clear time. She also really shines in pure fiction, where you just want to kill as many waves of mobs as possible, and so more ultimates is even better there. She also has a literal meteor shower of a skill, and though its damage isn't that crazy, it can break enough toughness to send enemies to Caleb. Though her full potential is locked behind E6, Asta is an incredibly solid support that will only get better the further you get into the game, and I still use her to this day. Have you ever wanted to use a totally not suspicious character for an entire playthrough? No? Just me? Tingyun is a totally, completely reasonable choice for that. Wait, why are you all looking at me like that? Tingyun is like Fate Grand Order's Merlin if Merlin was a hot lady and trying to scam me for photos of Jingyun. She gives a character on your team a really big attack buff, but on top of that, her ultimate lets you grant a huge amount of energy to a character and also give them a big damage bonus. The idea of granting 50 energy to any character is massive, and worst case, you could even use it on supports if you're about to lose and you need an emergency heal or something like that. Tingyun also adds extra damage onto your main DPS via her talent, and she's overwhelmingly skill point positive due to her skill needing to only be used once every 3 of your main DPS's turns. With Tingyun, you can farm more skill points annually than the IRS farms taxes from the working class. She works with almost every hyper carry in the game. Jingliu, more ults, more uptime, no problem. Hentai Dan Hung, more skill points, more ultimates for less SP usage, easy clap. Blade, okay, she doesn't really work that great with Blade. If they scale with attack, Tingyun's got your back. And if you have Tingyun, you'll definitely want to invest in her long term. She's one of the strongest 4 stars in the game, and even at E0, she'll be a game changer for your account.
Time to twirl! Time to twirl! Big diamond! It's all yours!
You should level Hera is the one thing I never thought I'd ever say in all of my time of playing this game. But fortunately for all 3 people that played her, Hera ended up becoming an S tier unit. And it might only look like it's for one game mode, but Hera actually had 2 use cases before Pure Fiction released. One was for simulated universe elation runs, where she makes them incredibly fast, and the second is farming. So you might be thinking at this point, wait, Brax, why do you need a farming unit if everyone has auto battle? Doesn't that kind of invalidate the whole point of farming units? And the answer to that is actually really simple. It's because, so what does Hera actually do? Well, she's a weaker DPS character with the potential to be a stronger DPS character, depending how many enemies are present and how much HP they have. Every time an enemy drops below 50% HP, Hera triggers a follow-up attack. So naturally, if there's 5 weak enemies on the field, she'll trigger a ton of follow-ups and eventually sweep the entire field dry. She may be weaker numbers-wise, but remember, for every Kurukuru, there is a Kururin. With the new game mode Pure Fiction, though, Hera's value is incredibly high. She is undeniably one of the strongest DPS in Pure Fiction due to her ability to constantly hit follow-up attacks on seemingly endless enemies. Just like there are characters that are only S tier in Memory of Chaos, which is the endgame boss DPS check, there are characters that are only S tier in Pure Fiction, which is the endgame DPS check that's mostly ads. But unfortunately, there is no S tier 4-star DPS at the moment for MOC, while there is an S tier DPS for Pure Fiction. And because she's completely free, it's 100% worth building her for late game if you plan on clearing out Pure Fiction, especially if you want that free Lynx. And if you don't plan on clearing hard endgame content, then honestly nothing in this video applies to you, just keep on playing DPS March 7th or something. Oh, and also build QQ because 99% of gamblers quit before they hit a chinchu.